Lamer Gamers. This is Simply Travis and
Rowdy 5000
for the Lamer Gamers podcast. And recently we've been tasked with becoming the very best.
Like no one ever was?
Like no one was before. To catch these little monsters is our real test. To train them is our cause. So today, we're going to travel across the land, searching far and wide to teach the Pokemon that the real power's inside.
Nerd.
So, after that, we're going to talk about the games we've been playing recently, such as Luigi's Mansion, Death Stranding, Outer Worlds, and UFC 3.
Dumb.
Stop it. Rowdy. Then, we're going to give you a breakdown from the news behind Microsoft's XO19. Is that how you say that?
I think it actually might be XO19. Like, I wouldn't say it.
I've been typing...
O.
Oh.
Yeah, see, I really don't know if it's O or 0.
It's confusing is what it is.
Everybody pronounces it XO19.
Yeah, what is the O for anyway?
I don't know.
We don't know. All right. Next, Google Stadia is starting to take its first little baby steps, then it just kind of stumbles around mindlessly spouting out some nonsense.
And pooping in its diaper.
Well, yeah, that too. Then Pokemon Sword and Shields, we'll go over its pros and cons.
Our pros and cons.
Rowdy's pros and cons, maybe. Then we'll end the show with review bombing, tell you what that is, and focus on how recent low scores have been put out by users that aren't even really playing games that they're giving the low scores for.
Ugh.
Such as Death Stranding and Pokemon. All right, guys. With that being said, let's go ahead and cut to the transition music. Before we get into the games we currently have loaded up in our console cannons, if you like the stuff we do here on the show, make sure to check us out at Lamer Gamers Cast on Twitter, at Lamer Gamers Podcast on Instagram, and throw a review down on Apple Podcasts or Podchaser. And with that being said, hey Rowdy, what have you been playing lately?
Man, I'm still playing Luigi's Mansion. Actually, before we last night, I decided I wanted to finish it before we started the podcast. So,
Did you?
I did.
Ooh.
I played it for about 3 hours straight last night, powered through it for the last few floors, and I love this game and I hate it at the same time.
Spooky.
There are parts of the game that I just really enjoyed, and I was having the best time, and then it would just get ruined by something small happening, something to try and make the game last longer.
Oh, so does it like have towards the end of the game where it tracks back and you have to do the same levels over?
Yes.
Oh, I hate it when they do that.
So
The Banjo-Kazooie-ization of the game.
You have to get the elevator buttons. I know I showed you that last time.
Yeah.
So, I'd say probably half the time that Luigi gets the button, something happens and he loses it and he has to get it again. Near the end, it happened where something stole the button and then I had to track it through 3 floors just to get it back. Super annoying.
That does sound annoying.
All in all, I really enjoyed the game. Would I play the next Luigi's Mansion?
Would you?
Probably not.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. To me, like I still haven't gotten it yet. I need to. I think I watched a couple of videos. I think it was on Game Explain it's Digital Foundry.
Okay.
Digital Foundry broke down the technical effects in the game, and it's just mind-blowing the actual effects they have going on that game on that little bitty tablet of a system.
Oh, it looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of there's a few floors on there where you have to deal with lots of sand, and just the way that the sand moves, the way that hair moves on the game. I mean, it's surprising that Nintendo pulled it off.
Oh, yeah.
It's graphically amazing looking.
Should have had the same team make Pokemon, it sounds like. Oh, it's a low blow.
And well, the next game I've been playing, the most divisive game of the year, Death Stranding.
Yoshi Islands 3?
Pretty much. No. Yoshi's Island was Super Mario 2.
I know.
So
wait, but didn't they do Yoshi's Island 2? They've had a lot of
been like
Yoshi.
Yoshi stories and stuff like that.
That's right.
Dude, so there's a funny video on YouTube you should watch where somebody made an animation that is basically Yoshi is Norman Reedus' character, and he's carrying around baby Mario, which is the bridge baby.
Yes.
And,
that sounds amazing.
It's pretty funny.
Nintendo should do this.
But Death Stranding, if you're not a Kojima fan, you're probably not going to like it. If you are a Kojima fan, you still might not like it. If you don't like long games, you won't like it. If you don't like cutscenes, you won't like it.
Okay, so right now I'm boiling this all down and I'm just hearing you don't like it.
I love the game.
I'm so confused.
I absolutely love it.
So what makes you actually like or love this game? Because everything you're saying sounds bad.
Okay, so a lot of people were saying, "Oh, Death Stranding's like a new genre. Kojima is a genius." No, and kinda. It's not a new genre.
Okay, so it's the same thing we played before.
I mean, it's got your same gameplay loop: get package, deliver package, ad nauseum, over and over again. But the more you deliver these packages, the more upgrades you get, the more things you can unlock, the harder it gets to traverse the area. And one cool thing about the area I'm in right now, I'm about 20 hours into the game, and I'm in the central United States. You start off on the eastern seaboard, and you have to work your way west to try and reunite the United Cities of America. So as I'm in the middle section, and you're trying to get these different areas back on what they call the chiral network.
I saw that whenever you were playing earlier, chiral network.
Yeah, so it's basically, it's a network to where if you're linked up to it, you get all of the information that the United Cities of America has on their, it's kind of like the internet.
Okay.
And all these different facilities have 3D printers. So once you get onto the network, you can print whatever the United Cities of America has in their database.
So it's like you're able to start civilization. It's
Yes.
a blueprint for civilization.
Now, there's also preppers who refuse to get back on the network.
Right.
But once you're on the network, then you can start building different things in the game, like generators to help recharge your motorcycle, or your power skeleton, which helps you carry more weight or helps you run faster. What I've been working on is a highway system. So you can drop off.
So you can run things like faster.
Yes. So I could start from one area, like grab a big truck, load it up, go across this highway, which sometimes goes over dangerous areas. And while you're on the highway, as long as you're traveling in the center of it, you don't lose power from like your motorcycle or your trucks or anything like that.
Right.
So it saves energy. You get there faster. So the more places that you get on the network, the more you can build. Now, a lot of the highway, I didn't fully build by myself. I just dropped off materials, and then other people that were playing it online can drop off materials there as well. So you rebuild it as a community.
Oh, that's cool.
So you don't run into anybody.
Yeah.
But you can totally donate stuff to other people. Like, let's say I have an overabundance of ladders.
As one just has ladders sitting around, you might as well give them to somebody.
I could get to a distribution center there, and then I can throw these ladders in a share locker, and the next person that comes along can grab said ladders.
So one thing I'm curious about on this game, because I saw you play it for a little bit, and I've seen things online. Does anybody actually use these ladders to climb?
Yes.
Okay. I've just seen people like lay them across gaps and walk across them. I haven't seen anybody actually climb on the ladders.
You could use them as bridges for motorcycles.
For the bridge babies.
It's a pretty cool game. I'll probably go into it a little more once I've beaten it, because I plan on it. I thoroughly enjoy it, but I could see why people don't.
Gotcha. It looked pretty cool. I mean, just as a passive observer, I thought the game looks decent. I probably wouldn't play it. I'd hate it. Sure.
I didn't show you any areas with BTs or beached things.
Oh, that's right. That's where things get weird, huh?
Your character can't see them. He can only sense them. But while connected to the bridge baby, he could see them when he gets close enough.
Ooh.
And it messes with the baby. Like, it makes the stress levels of the baby go up, and you don't want that to happen. Because if the baby gets too stressed, it like shuts down. And
then it whines everywhere.
Then you can't see him.
Yeah, that's bad.
But it's good, man. I really enjoy it.
So, all right. So the next game that I'm still playing Outer Worlds, dude, it's a problem. Gotta get a little fix of it.
So you've beaten it already, right?
Oh yeah, I beat it,
Okay,
man.
okay.
Dude, the ending was fun. There were some, some people have said there's some glitches towards the end, but man, by the end of Outer Worlds, I had upped my persuasion so much. I'm gonna try not to give away the ending or really spoil it because I really do kind of want to come back and do almost like a spoiler cast one day where we can just talk Outer Worlds and go into the depths of Outer Worlds.
So I've seen some different endings that are not close to what happened to me.
So I literally, like, towards the end, I walk through flights of bad guys without shots fired at me
Yeah,
because I could talk anybody out of shooting at me.
that's how I played.
It was pretty awesome. And then I found a mind control gun,
Oh yeah.
and I literally would basically make the biggest guy in the room go walk and start shooting his buddies. Then they'd all kill him.
I watched a video of somebody beating Outer Worlds from as soon as they ended the character creation screen to beating it, less than 14 minutes.
That's insane. How did they do that?
And it was a very good ending. Like,
Really?
they got to skip a lot.
Were they like glitching it out, or was it like
No.
actual? Wow.
It was like it shows all of the stats and everything they picked, and then how they did it.
Gotcha.
Now, one thing they had to do to make you travel faster is basically put almost everything into what was it, agility or dexterity? I forget which one it is. But you can run faster and you can jump longer and higher.
Yeah.
So when they were going up hills, they would jump a bunch. And
Oh.
they went really fast.
That's cool. I didn't even know you could kind of like do super jumps in the game.
But I mean, they did all kinds of stuff, man. They made it to the very end without almost firing any shots.
That's what's really crazy to me about the game is you have such a huge. It's almost like the game itself isn't sandbox gameplay, but the character creation is like sandbox play because you can come up with ridiculous ways to approach battles and how you figure out things in the game. My big thing is like I've recently started a new game. I'm calling it the Berserker Hammer Edition, to where I'm literally hitting things with a hammer. I'm trying to like be pro company as much as I can, and it's pretty crazy. I was a long rifle focus on the last game, right? To where I would kind of pre-plan like, how am I going to go in? There's like 17 people here. What's the easiest way where I'm not going to get messed up?
Sniper rifle.
Yeah, basically, a sniper rifle, and how I'm going to use tactical time dilation. Now I just run in and smack things with hammers, which, dude, it's kind of crazy. It works really well. It is kind of scary when you hit something with the hammer in TTD mode. Have you done that yet?
Do body parts fly?
Occasionally,
Nice.
but that man, it's like ragdoll, man. It reminds me of like the cheesiest animations on like GoldenEye from back in the day.
Nice.
When they had all these pre-programmed animations when something would kick over. But it's really fun, and I've sped my character up. I'm slowing down time and still going the same speed. And just whack, whack, run to the next person. Whack, whack. It's good. It's fun. But because I'm a company man, like I kind of feel dirty with some of the choices I'm making.
Yeah.
Like the last game, I was trying to be as good as possible, just how I would naturally play. And I still kind of felt kind of dirty from what I had to do.
Yeah.
I did what I had to do. If you're a Supernatural fan, you hear that a lot. This game, sometimes the choices end up better, I think, for the people, but you just feel wrong for it, man. Just absolutely wrong for it. So I don't know. I'm having a good time again.
I want to replay it. There's just so much on my plate right now.
I want to play other things, and I'm just like, Outer Worlds, play it again. All right. Speaking of things that I've tried that are new, Rowdy's making fun of me for this game. UFC 3.
Wait, this game is new?
Well, it's not newer, but I'm playing. It's new to me.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, they have. They've had UFC 1, 2, and 3. Now it's.
I mean, I figured
the
by the
closest
number at the end.
So here's the thing. I'm actually a fan of MMA. I haven't been watching it a whole lot. I used to have Fight Pass. And I watch that all the time. I like a good punching and a kicking in. It's plays a lot better than I expected. It's a little slow in some ways, but technically as a fighting game, it feels like a fighting game.
It's playable.
It is playable. Now, the thing that I would compare it to the most is the WW2K series, but it's actually playable. I don't know if have you ever played WW2K?
Like the
WWE. I keep saying WW. Like it's an internet thing.
I've tried one of them that I got in like a Humble Bundle, but
Yeah,
I just got ruined on the old WCW versus NWO Revenge games.
Oh yeah,
Like,
those are the best.
I can't do wrestling games anymore because I got ruined by them.
So the thing that I would say is different here is that this is, of course, a striking kind of fighting game first, right? Yeah, as kind of UFC would be. You know, you have your strikes, you have shoots, which are like going in and tackling. Then it has your wrestling moves and has your submissions.
Okay.
And you can also punch people while you're wrestling them, right? WWE 2K doesn't have as strong of a fighting, like standing up, punching, kicking kind of game.
More grappling kind of stuff.
Yeah, but then the stupid grappling WWE 2K is like the dumbest mini games ever. You have to try to match the little dot with the joystick and follow it around as they're strangling you.
No, I'm good.
Whereas this game it's simpler whenever you're like in a submission or you're trying to submit said person. To where you just have 4 directions you have to push, and you see this indicator that shows, you know, how far they've gone up to the end where they're going to choke you out. It's a better system in general.
Okay.
Also, I feel like I can play this game as if I'm a real UFC fighter. So I made a character for myself to learn the game. It looks like me. Big dude. And I'm literally just kind of tackling people. I'm getting on the top of them, beating them with my fists.
If I played this game like if I were a real UFC fighter, I would play a scrawny dude that just runs around the outside of the ring screaming like a kid with a skinned knee.
You can kind of do that, though. Like, you can taunt. And what's really weird, and it kind of creeps me out, but I kind of like it. I haven't done it yet. You can map your face for this game.
That's creepy. I don't like it.
Yeah.
That never works out right, man.
Yeah. Oh, and this game is so, like, I've played as, you know, I've watched a lot of matches with some of these characters, and the mapping is in the uncanny valley range where it looks wrong. Like, it doesn't look right. And some of the characters look woof.
No, man, I would end up mapping my face, and then, like, it would look nothing like that. Like, I'd look more like Toad from the Mario Brothers.
Yeah, there's something a little bit off. But, man, it plays really well. Graphically, I mean, other than that, it's pretty good. The crowd looks good for a game. I mean, there's not a whole lot going on other than lighting effects. The characters are too close to realism in the worst ways. But animations are excellent. Like, I'm not seeing, you know, remember in WCW versus NW Revenge, whenever, like, you'd see somebody's knee clip through somebody's face.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're not seeing a lot of that in this game. Like, they did a good job with animations.
Man, you should see all the clipping in WWE 2K20.
I've seen that, and there's like disembodied heads.
Oh my god!
And hair is growing in places. That game is essentially a tumor.
Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah, it's infecting their series as a whole. I think the WWE 2K, the company that's doing this one, has completely ruined that series, which is great because I don't want to see that series. Is terrible.
It's the in-house 2K guys.
Oh, so they dropped their developer.
There was a developer
and went in-house.
There was a developer out of Japan that they were working with. That's actually worked with a lot of wrestling games. Even some in Japan. They were doing like some of the New Japan Wrestling I forget what their federation's called, but they've done games for them. Yeah. And that's why some of the past WWE games have been pretty good, but they dumped them and went completely in-house this time around. Yeah. So they probably just took a bunch of broken assets from the last game and then tried to update it, and it just did not
to figure it out, and they tried to fit it in within their yearly release schedule, which is dumb. No, they're gonna have to they're gonna have to redo that game from the ground up after this because nobody's gonna trust them after this.
Well, people keep buying 2K games.
People are stupid. That's the problem, Rowdy. People don't need to spend their money on games like this.
I've been saying for years that 2K games is just awful, but every year they break new records. Like I want to say NBA 2K20 is like the highest selling game of the year so far, and it's a turd.
Well, okay, so And they've been doing some weird stuff too. Like I actually picked up the NBA 2K game on the Switch for $3. It's just a way for them to get your information and throw in advertising after you.
Well, they also did that like a lot of the other Switch games where they lower the price ridiculous amount so that it ends up on the top sell list so that people see, oh, well, right now,
I guess I want to try this.
Zelda and Pokemon are selling like crazy. I might as well get this. Even after the sale's over, it stays up there. Yeah. So a game that was $9.99, but they sold it for 99% off and it was a penny.
Yeah.
You get, people see that. I was like, oh, it's $9.99. That's not bad. I'll buy it. And it turns out it's crap. It's just, it's
the thing
so annoying.
That kills me about the 2K series in general, it tries to be a simulation, and it doesn't do a good job of it, or is too involved with certain mechanics, and they don't have a good gameplay connection. Like I was saying with the submissions, where you have to like follow a dot around randomly. With the NBA 2K games, it's so finicky with what you do. Like I would try to steal the ball and I'd like every single time I'd get a ref after me. I would get frustrated because the game wants various parameters that you had to follow, and it's stupid and I hate it. I want a more arcade style game that's
NBA Jam, NFL Blitz.
No, but not that. Like there's a slider of like
from NBA Jam
to NBA 2K.
Where do you want to be on the slider?
I want to be somewhere in the middle. Like my favorite. I used to be a fan of sports. NBA. I'm old, folks. NBA 99 or 95. 95 was the best one.
Was that on Sega Genesis?
Dude, it was on Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. Oh yeah.
No, man, NBA Jam. That was the game back then.
Yeah. No, NBA Jam was good. I won't lie. And they did try to re-release, or NBA Streets. Is that what it was called?
Yeah, it was kind of a... They were trying to recreate Jam with those.
It's basically NBA Jam, but it's like, hello, fellow kids, is pretty much what it was.
I mean, there's just something about a game where you could put in a cheat code, and on the same team, you could have Dennis Rodman and Bill Clinton.
Yes. There we go.
That was pretty ridiculous.
Those good old days.
Jam, man. Pretty ridiculous.
All right. Well, I think that's about it for the games that I played. We haven't played a whole lot. I have a lot of stuff on Game Pass I need to play now, and we're going to talk about that in just a bit.
Get to it.
All right, guys. So when we come back from the musical interlude, we're going to talk about the news and views. All right, guys. Before we get started with the news, I want to give a shout out to our friends over at ParallaxMedia.one. They are a good old gaming journalism website that has decided to help spread our podcast around to the masses. So drop by and check these guys out. All right, dude. So XO19, whatever it is, I don't know exactly, but it's Microsoft's latest show, and they announced a whole bunch of stuff. Now, you watched it, though, right?
I watched the whole thing.
I bullet pointed it. So, so we've talked about in the past, like, how does Sony State of Play, Microsoft stuff, and Nintendo stuff all lay out, Nintendo Directs. How'd you feel about this one, just as a show?
I believe it could have been 30 minutes shorter.
Okay.
Cutting out a lot of the, filler interview type stuff.
Okay.
Because honestly, the main points of it were Game Pass and xCloud. Pretty much everything that was announced on there is coming to Game Pass. So they definitely could have done a better... I mean, maybe not. I guess you do need to talk with some of the developers and stuff. But there was one part on there where they were talking about, I can't remember the name of it, but it's like that first-person shooter that was developed in Korea or Japan. And it's like just now coming to the West, and it's only coming on Xbox. Let's see. Going through the list here, I don't see it listed.
Well, there's so many games.
No, there was a lot.
There's so many games.
There was an interview with them, and it's like, I mean, it's not gonna beat Call of Duty or any of the other series that they already have. It might be something to pick up if you like Game Pass.
Gotcha.
But it's definitely not something that's gonna overtake anything else. But
Oh, is it that ninja game one?
No. It was actually a first-person shooter. It was like a war-based first-person shooter.
Oh, okay, well, we'll have to figure that out as we go through like what was actually announced and stuff.
But I don't know, man. It's just it seemed like the main points of the show really were Game Pass and xCloud, because
Oh
they
yeah,
would be
absolutely.
like, hey, let's introduce this game, and when it comes out, it's going to be on Game Pass. And like, now let's introduce so and so from Square Enix, and they're going to talk about Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts. And it's coming to Game Pass. And then let's pass it over to Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer is going to talk about Game Pass and xCloud. And then another thing that was kind of annoying is that so many of the games were really cartoony looking. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that's a cheaper way to develop a game or if that's just what's in right now. But I have a feeling that if they keep this up, Xbox is going to be known as the system with the cartoony graphics. Because that game that Rare put out, or is putting out, it's still cartoony looking.
The Everwild?
Yes. Kind of like what they did with Sea of Thieves. Now, I'm not dogging on Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, that kind of clean, not a whole lot of detail going on. Very Nintendo-ish.
Yes. But I just have a feeling that if these game makers don't stop, like Xbox is going to be the console with the cartoony graphics.
Well, I mean, that is in, contrast to what they used to be known for, which is
nothing.
They love gray and brown. That's it.
We love
blood.
We love halos.
You just look gritty and real.
Shoot aliens.
Yeah. I mean, is that a positive or a negative thing for them to start being known as something else? Of course, I think they're getting in on Nintendo's territory, and that's really what they're known for.
Yeah.
But is that something they're trying to do? Sneaky little devils. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and break down the news. First up, they had a massive update about xCloud. Basically, I'm gonna open up my phone right now. I have the gaming preview thing on here, and I was gonna just start reading off games on here, but really, there's too many. I mean, there's Absolver, Ace Combat, Battle Chasers, Bloodstained, Borderlands. There are a ton of things on xCloud that are ready to go right now. And that is in stark contrast to what Stadia is doing. Stadia, which we'll talk about in a minute, is going to have 12 games. Man, I got the xCloud preview, and I can already play 50 games on xCloud for free in this beta. I mean, everything you can think of. And games that shouldn't even be on here, like Tekken 7 is on here already.
Tekken 7's been out for a minute.
Yeah, it's been out, but it's a fighting game. You shouldn't have that game on a streaming service, especially a beta. Soul Calibur 4 is on here. I'm excited. I'm going to play it on Game Pass, though, because I don't want the lag. And, speaking of that, they have just so much that they've announced for this. Just look it up, how many games they've put on here. They're really pushing xCloud, like, insanely, and I'm sure you heard xCloud 400 times.
Dude, you have no idea.
And I actually let Rowdy try xCloud earlier. What were your thoughts on that?
It's playable.
Yay! It's playable.
If you're playing any game that needs pinpoint accuracy,
oh yeah,
it's not gonna work for you. I fired up Subnautica and then Devil May Cry 5 on there, and with Subnautica, one of the problems I was having was very the precision movements that I needed, where I just barely moved the thumbsticks, weren't registering very well. Yeah. Now, big movements were fine, like strafing, moving back and forth, turning. That was all right. But in Subnautica, you have to swim a lot, and you don't have to change your direction a whole lot. But I felt anytime I was moving the stick, it would move more than I wanted it to.
Right.
And then Devil May Cry 5, there's a whole lot of button combos you have to press with it. And it was fairly responsive to what I was playing, but it felt like it kept going after I stopped pushing buttons sometimes.
Gotcha.
Which, I mean, I figured that I would eventually get used to, but I don't want to get used to.
Right. That's a big thing, too, is like xCloud is definitely gunning for Stadia right now. And this XO19 announcement, the way they just did this announcement, kind of took a little bit of the wind out of Google, I think. And we're going to talk about Google Stadia's startup and how they kind of screwed up recently here in just a bit.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Google took the wind out of Google.
Well, yeah, Google did too. But nobody, like, everybody kind of knew, like, xCloud was going to announce something. I don't think people thought that they were going to go from 5 games to 50 overnight.
It's pretty crazy.
You know, now one game that we did try, Ark.
I couldn't even get it to load.
Yeah, Ark barely runs on a regular system though, so I kind of expected that.
So massive multiplayer games gonna have a little more lag.
All right, so there's a lot of cool xCloud news that's gonna come to PC here in 2020. They didn't give a date just yet, but they're like, with their track record right now, the way they're announcing and just kind of tossing stuff at us with the xCloud, I would expect it to hit probably sooner than later.
Yeah, it's not going to be far off.
Yeah, it's not far away. So next up is they announced 50 new games to Game Pass. So as of that day that they announced everything, Age of Empires 2, Age of Wonders Planetfall, Heart of Iron 4, Lego the Ninjago movie game, Rage 2, Remnant from the Ashes, The Talos Principle, Trax the Train Set game were all available at the time of the show. Now, you've played video games, Rowdy. If you are have you played any of these?
Rage 2.
Is it good? Because I downloaded it.
I love Rage 2.
Okay, because I saw Bethesda on there, and I had I flinched a little bit.
Well, they're basically just the company that put it out. I think it was more developed by maybe id or
the people that do the Doom stuff.
Yeah,
I did see that it's like a open world style game. Is it really open worldish?
Think a combination of Mad Max, Borderlands,
I like,
and Doom.
Nice.
I actually got the BFG 9000 in it.
Oh, sweet.
You can get it. A meteorite strikes right outside of the first town, and then you can go to that meteorite and get the BFG 9000. But yeah, it is pretty overworld. I mean, open world, because you don't have to do it in a particular order. You can explore the map. You can do all kind of stuff to help unlock other regions, to help strengthen all of your stuff. There's a leveling up system that's really close to like Borderlands.
I'm super excited about this game that I can play it on Game Pass now.
Oh, it's really fun, man.
I did hear that Rage 2 was better than 1, right?
1 was a turd.
Rowdy's glorious system of reviewing is turd.
Yeah.
And the variations of said turdism.
Oh, yeah. It could get worse than a turd.
Yeah, absolutely. So one that I'm excited about was Age of Wonders Planetfall. I haven't loaded up, haven't tried it yet. It's apparently kind of like a turn-based strategy game, sort of.
Is it anything like Age of Empires?
I don't know. So I'll be talking about that next episode because that is going to get played. One thing that I was super excited about too was on the PC, Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Lego Ninjago.
Yeah, I really want the Lego Ninjago. Okay, and Talos Principle. I've never played it.
I haven't either. One game that I really want to point out on there, that Remnant from the Ashes.
Is it looked like a survival game, and I was kind of like,
Oh no, I refuse to play it.
Oh, okay.
But if you like Dark Souls, Sekiro-esque like multiplayer games, that's one for you.
If you're not working a 50 or 60 hour job a week and you like having blood pressure spikes, you'll love this game.
Yeah, that could happen.
Yeah, sorry, I just totally ruined that for you. All right, so I'm going to read through this list. So these are games that are coming throughout the holiday. Most are going to be the holiday and then throughout 2020.
Dude, Carry On is going to be so good.
Here goes. Carry On, Crisis Tale, Cyber Shadow, Darksiders 3, Double Kick Heroes, Drake Hollow, Edge of Eternity, Final Fantasy. Oh gosh, there's a lot of numbers here, guys.
7 through 15 and everything in between.
Bingo, Rowdy got it for me. Forager, these are ID at Xbox games. Haven, It Lurks Below, Levelhead, Life is Strange 2, episodes 4 and 5. My friend Pedro, super excited about that one. Pandemic. Fogs?
Okay.
She Dreams Elsewhere, Skatebird, Streets of Rage 4, Scourgebringer, Superland, Tekken 7, Tuhana Luna Nights, The Escapist 2, The Red Lantern, The Red Strings, Witcher 3, Wild Hunt. Super surprised about that one. We'll talk about it in a minute. Vambrace, Cold Soul, West of Dead, and Yakuza. Zero Kiwami 2.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
That's a big old list. Okay, tell me about. Let's go back and talk about some of these games now that I've kind of read them like we are in a medicinal commercial, and I told you all the things that are going to kill you. When you take that medicine. Carry on. Speaking of dead things,
I'm super excited about this. It's they describe it as a reverse horror game.
Okay.
It's Devolver Digital.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
Devolver.
So it's reverse horror because you play as the monster.
Oh, that's the one with the monster that looks like the thing.
Yes.
Right?
So it looks like John Carpenter's The
thing.
Thing.
Yeah.
And you get out of like your test tube or beaker or whatever you're in.
That's
and then you
Game
like
Pass.
Yeah.
I just realized that.
Yeah.
I never need to buy games again.
So you're gonna like you eat the people, then you get bigger and bigger, and then they send in people who try and like keep you contained and stuff. So you can sneak up on people by like going through the vents and stuff like that. That looks really cool, man.
I'm right there with you. So Darksiders 3, another big hit. I played a little bit of Darksiders. I don't mind it, but there's some people that are really into that game.
Oh yeah, that's why they made Darksiders 3.
Yeah, I mean,
people were so into it.
It's a Zelda-y kind of play style, but with a bit of God of War on the side. Is that kind of how you'd explain it?
Definitely.
But more intense and death and stuff.
Not more intense than God of War.
Well, yeah, but it's still like your cartoon death. You know, you're like Skeletor, but a little bit scarier. You know. Next one, the Final Fantasy franchise just boggles my mind because on the Switch they just announced all this stuff, all these Final Fantasy games. They're just throwing it at everybody like candy on the Switch. And now they're just going to give it to us on Game Pass. Like, I bought Final Fantasy VIII on the Switch, and I'm sorry, it was just not good. We talked about that. There were some issues with it.
You could have waited, Travis.
I could have waited. And, that's the bad thing about this Game Pass thing, is that I think that's kind of what's ticking you off about Game Pass, too.
Yeah, I was going to get to that a little later.
Okay, we'll talk about that later. But, there's a lot of these Final Fantasy games I haven't even played because I've
And you're probably not going to play.
Oh, I'm gonna try to.
You mean to tell me you're gonna play Final Fantasy 13
Boy Band Edition?
2?
I mean 15. I mean what?
Final Fantasy 15 is great. You shut your face. It's awesome.
Oh man. So no, I don't know.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to see which ones are the best.
They don't have Final Fantasy 14 on there. That's I think that's a monthly subscription kind of thing. 'Cause that's an MMO.
All right, so this is what I'm gonna ask. As somebody that has missed Final Fantasy for years, I need you, if you're listening to this show, at me on the Twitters at LamerGamersCast and tell me which one of these I play first.
15.
Dang it, Rowdy. I said the people need to tell me.
The people are going to say 15.
The people might not. They might not tell me to play a boy band game. All right, what is Forge or any of these things? The ID at Xbox.
So real quick, the ID at Xbox, the only thing I really know are games that I've seen before because ID at Xbox, they showed all of those games in a minute and a half.
Oh.
So they didn't explain anything about any of those games with ID at Xbox.
So let me ask, do you know, is the ID at Xbox, it's indies, right?
I have no idea.
Okay, I don't really know what ID at Xbox means. At first I thought it was
id Software, but I was wrong.
They're definitely not id games. We'll have to look up. I'm assuming it's indie developers at Xbox. That would make sense.
And Skatebird looks awesome.
What is Skatebird?
Think Tony Hawk, but you're a bird.
That sounds wonderful.
I mean, that's it.
Okay, so My Friend is Pedro is coming to Game Pass. Super excited about that. Did you ever play that?
You might be a little disappointed.
Oh, it's not that good?
It's super fun. I call it Deadpool Simulator because you can go into a room and you can slow down time and you have two guns that you can use. One of them will lock on and then the other one is controlled by the right joystick.
Well, that's kind of fun.
So you can take and you can set up a room to where you're going to drop from the glass at the top. You're going to take out said character in one corner while aiming at another character, drop down onto, I don't know, a basketball and kick that into somebody else's head while changing to your shotgun to blast somebody that's through another piece of glass. There's a lot you could do, but it's real fast paced. And it isn't as well integrated as it sounds.
Okay.
Like there are some times that I would go through a level like, man, that was so awesome. And then there are some times that I got through a level and I was like, man, I probably could have done that a little better. I just didn't have enough heads up.
Now,
Because you want to try and beat the level as fast as you can. So you have to think on your toes.
is it one of those games? Because I'm a little afraid it's a little Groundhog Game-ish. Is it, if you get hit, does it automatically kill you and you
No.
restart? Okay. That was my, I think, initial impressions a while back, that it was similar to The Messenger, to where you're trying to beat a level like in the best, nicest, coolest way possible.
You could take multiple hits and then you could even find health throughout the levels.
Mhm.
And then your health will refill up to a certain point depending on how many times you've been hit.
Gotcha.
It's pretty fun, but don't expect it to be indie game of the year for you.
Okie dokie. Next one, Streets of Rage 4.
Super
that's,
excited.
That's an ID one, so they're basically helping pay for that stuff if it's ID at Xbox, I'd imagine. Tekken 7, I'm actually pretty excited about that.
Meh.
I like a good fighting game. And I heard mixed things about Tekken. Now, I did hear that the character designer is really good, so I might have to make like some Lamer Gamers characters in there just for fun.
The cool thing about Tekken, when it first came out, was instead of having, your light, medium, strong punch, light, medium, strong kick, they had basically left and right punch and kick.
Right.
So your combos go back and forth between the buttons. So you can't sit there and spam one button over and over again and win.
Right.
You literally have to go back and forth between right, left. If your character's leaned over more one way or the other, you can then do a kick instead of a punch.
Oh, yeah.
Like
It's extremely technical. I've played a lot of Tekken Tag Tournament on the Wii U back in the day, too. But I'm excited about that. Now, Soul Calibur is not on this list, but Soul Calibur is on xCloud. That's weird. Huh. So hopefully they bring that, because I'm probably more excited about the Soul Calibur series. I like the weapon-based gameplay more so than I did Tekken games. The Escapist 2, I thought that was already on Game Pass in the past. We don't care about that. Witcher 3, man.
I'm pretty excited about it.
It's been on my buy list.
I mean, I bought Witcher 3 for PC, but I'm iffy about gaming on PC. Not the biggest fan of it.
You know why I'm excited?
Why's that?
Because I hated Witcher 1 and Witcher 2. Because it played like you were trying to drive 2 different cranes at the same time with knives.
Oh my God.
I hated how it played. It was terrible, and I haven't wanted to spend money on The Witcher 3, even though everybody tells me I need to play it.
I've been reading the books, man. They're really good.
Yeah, I don't feel strongly about this. So I'm excited to see that. All right.
Real quick, that Red Lantern game?
Yeah.
That's the dog sled game.
Oh, that game that's going to make my wife cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't play that. I'm going to play that in like the dark. Well, play games in the dark anyway, but she can't watch that because there's going to be a dog that dies in that. And that's going to be sad.
I mean, we don't know if there is going to be one, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be one.
Yo, dude. Yeah, no.
The Yakuza franchise?
Oh, no.
I think this is the first time Yakuza has been on Xbox.
And, the new Yakuza game looks like garbage.
Oh my God, I forgot about that one. The turn-based one.
Yeah, there's a reason why it's on the Xbox. Or it's coming to the Xbox because nobody's playing that.
Well, no, these are different ones.
Oh, I don't care.
Yakuza 0 and then Kiwami and Kiwami 2.
Yeah. I'm getting my games mixed up anyway.
It's different from the actual Yakuza series.
I'm getting my game mixed up from something else.
No, there is a new Yakuza game coming out.
Oh, it looks like garbage. Okay, cool.
Yeah, everybody thought it was an April Fool's joke.
These Yakuza games are crazy, from what I understand. The gameplay is kind of wacky at times.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that is basically what is coming to Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass or you don't, it's time to get it because they are also selling Game Pass. You get 3 months for $1.
I'm so mad about that.
Yeah, and I think though there is a 24-month sale or 28-month for $24. I got it in our notes. Let me scroll through and oh no, I moved all those notes to another thing. Okay, well I had to find that before the end of the show and tell you about it. Let's go ahead and talk about the bigger game reveals. So first up, Everwild. it's like Rowdy said, it looks very pretty.
Yeah, I mean,
It looks like a Nintendo game.
It's a rare game, and I really love rare games.
Mm-hmm.
It looks real cartoony, like Sea of Thieves. It doesn't look exactly like Sea of Thieves, but it's still cartoony looking.
Right.
I mean, what vibe I got from watching the preview is it looks almost like a cartoony Monster Hunter, almost.
See, and to me, I almost got like cartoony Zelda Death Stranding from it. So like you're avoiding the monsters because they weren't hunting them.
Well, until the end.
Well, no, she just like pats it on the head.
No, there was
Like,
that big wolf
"Good
thing
dear."
that's coming out of the cave.
But were they attacking it?
I mean, it looked like it was about to attack them.
Yeah, that's what I say. I don't see any weapons. I think they're delivering packages.
They're not delivering packages.
Okay, maybe they're not delivering packages.
Travis, only Hideo Kojima is genius enough to come up with a game
Where you
deliver packages. All right?
All right, so
It really is a good game, I promise.
Yeah. Here is the quote that I found from the head of Rare Studio, Craig Duncan. While Everwild is still early in development, we are excited about the unique potential of the game we are creating. The Everwild team is focused on building an experience that allows for new ways to play in a natural and magical world. Everwild will give you memorable, engaging, and meaningful experiences for players everywhere to share. We can't wait to share more with you in the future. So basically they told us
Nothing.
nothing at all.
Nothing.
What is it? How do you play this game?
With a controller.
Okay.
And an Xbox.
That's enough for me. All right. Don't Nod Entertainment. You notice that this is like the same backwards? Read it backwards, Rowdy.
Oh, snap.
Oh, snap.
What's that called? A palindrome?
Yeah, I think so.
Jinx.
I can't talk for the rest of this episode. All right. I don't care. I'm going to break all the rules. All right. Don't Nod's Entertainment's new game, Tell Me Why, is been announced. So it is by the people that released Life is Strange. So if you like that style of storytelling type gameplay, you'll probably like this. It's based on twins that basically share each other's experiences but are separated. What isn't that pretty much what you were telling me about it?
It's a set of twins who were separated for about 10 years after a traumatic event. Like, it doesn't really say what said event was. But
PTSD Simulator 2020.
Well, now they're back together. They can share the experiences, and what I've gathered from the interviews that I watched afterwards was that you can play the memory from both of their perspectives.
Oh.
And because everybody remembers things different.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you can play it from their perspectives, and then you have to pick which one you believe.
Oh, and then trying to figure out like who has altered the perception over time due to trauma.
Yes.
This game is too close to home though for what I do as a job. I don't want to play this game at all.
But if you liked Life is Strange, I have Life is Strange loaded up on Game Pass. I just haven't gotten around to it. They're very forward-thinking games, very emotional type stories. And I think they've really got it down for this time around. I think there's going to be a lot of people that love this game. It's going to get rave scores.
So in my mind, this is a game that if you read novels, you're going to like this. And if you like going through a range of emotions, I just said crying all the time. But if you like that, there's a good word for it. Of course, my brain's not coming up with it. But if you like going through that full range of emotions, catharsis, that's the fancy word I was thinking about. Kind of having to go through that raw emotion and get it out. If you like that kind of ideal in your movies and your novels, you'll probably enjoy this game. So if you like The Fault in Our Stars, or anything by John Green, you'll probably enjoy this game. I could see my wife being all over this kind of thing because there's not a lot of real gameplay so much as it is like story element driven stuff. So, all right, next up is Grounded. It's made by the Xbox Games and Obsidian Entertainment. I didn't watch this trailer before this. Tell me about it, Rowdy. It's Obsidian. Tell me about it, please.
Crap, which one was this? This was the...
It's apparently a new first-person co-op survival game. Oh, that sounds like all the things I don't want.
I want to say this was another one that I thought looked really cartoony, if I'm not mistaken.
All right.
But yeah, it turned me off because it seemed like a co-op. It was a co-op survival game. Looked like it was an online kind of deal. Don't get me wrong. Love Obsidian and love what they do. But...
See, that... all those taglines scare me. And there's a little monster dude. I'm going to play this without the sound just so I can have it in the background. So I'll go ahead and talk about the next thing. I'll come back to it because the next one I am super excited about. Age of Empires.
Okay, hang on. No, stop.
Okay,
I remember now.
Not yet.
Grounded.
We're talking about that.
Is this the Obsidian one? I don't know if this is Obsidian.
It said Obsidian. It's also... The game, the guy grew up watching Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. You're very tiny in this game.
Yeah. So it's basically Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Bugs Life kind of thing. Like, it's a co-op survival where you're shrunk down super, super small, like in your backyard.
I kind of like the concept.
And you have to survive being attacked by, like, ants and other bugs and stuff like that.
Dude, this is like the imagination as a kid is really cool. And I've taught, like, variety and size as a art lesson. This will be a good thing to spring this off of. I got lesson plans that are gonna be based on this. Yeah. Oh no, it looks like Fortnite.
This one was cartoony.
Why did they do that?
Well, no, man. I mean, that was more like the Fallout building. Like it wasn't. It's not like fast paced. Like get out of the shooting area kind of deal. It's more like it looked more like Fallout's building kind of stuff.
My concern here, it's like some sort of mixture of Peakman, kind of like with the small scale thing, mixed with a survival aspect where it looks like you're kind of having to build a fort style or something. I don't know, that one I've got mixed emotions on.
Yeah, that was another one that I thought looked real cartoony.
I'm surprised that it's coming out by Obsidian, really.
Yeah, yeah, it is Obsidian. Okay.
Yeah, it's Obsidian. It's gonna be a narrative driven. Oh wait, no. It was most definitely not grounded. This isn't the kind of large-scale narrative-driven RPG Obsidian has built its reputation on. That's what they're saying. So yeah, it's definitely weird. It looks like gameplay first, narrative second. That's one I'm going to be keeping my eye on.
Yeah, it could be.
It could be fun in spurts.
I'm going to wait. Well, it's probably going to come to Game Pass.
All right. Now that we're talking about things I'm very confused about.
All right, now Age of Empires 4.
Age of Empires 4. Is exciting. It looks decent. I'm just happy they announced it, honestly. My expectations are so low for here. I've been waiting for this game.
They actually pointed that out in the interview.
Ever?
They had somebody from I don't know, Age of Empires Inc., whatever company that is. They're like, look, we debuted this game and talked about it 2 years ago, and then we went silent. We're sorry about that, but here you go.
Yay!
I'm side note. One thing that happened in Luigi's mansion. Luigi goes, "It's me, Luigi," instead of "It's me, Mario."
It's me, Luigi.
All right.
So,
Age of Empires 4.
Hey, but hold on. Age of Empires 4 I'm excited about because a long time ago, way back in the early 2000s, actually probably late 90s, I don't know, we used to have LAN parties. You ever had a LAN party? Did we ever have LAN parties?
No.
We had gaming parties. But
we mostly played N64 games that already had 4 controller inputs, and then you stopped getting the new consoles and played PC.
Yeah. So I would play with some people Age of Mythology. So I actually played with like cousins and friends and stuff like this, and we would get together, we'd order pizza, and we would get a bunch of computers in the room, and we'd play Age of Mythologies. You ever played Age of Mythologies, Rowdy?
No.
Age of Mythologies is the coolest freaking real-time strategy game ever because you can be a god. You know who I was?
Who?
Odin.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. I'd send around these birds, and I was super excited with the Age of Empires 4 starting because there's a bird. So I was really expecting Age of Mythologies whenever I saw it, and I kind of got a little disappointed. But Age of Mythologies, like I'd be Odin, there'd be birds flying around, and you have these special powers depending on the age you're at. So like you go from bronze to golden age and stuff like that. Well, you could do things like have Fimbulwinter,
Yeah.
where there'd be freaking wolves everywhere. It's like my house.
Fimbulwinter's
Where
bad,
there's
dude.
dogs everywhere.
Fimbulwinter's real bad.
Fimbulwinter's bad for you. And Ragnarok. So Ragnarok was it would actually lead into how you play this game. So if you chose different paths of god powers, for mine I would usually work on being able to start up like a quick I guess army out of the middle of nowhere. Then Fimbulwinter, I'd wreck their towns and attack them. Or you could have like this massive economy where you have as many workers as possible low on your military, and then call Ragnarok, and it changes all of your civilians into Ragnarokans, or whatever you want to call it, the big warriors from Ragnarok, and you would just plow over everybody. Like if you saw somebody was doing a Ragnarok build, it was scary. There was also like Egyptian and Greek gods and stuff like that, but I'm kind of going off topic, but I'm super excited because of Age of Mythology was such a good real-time strategy game, and Age of Empires 3. I played the heck out of Age of Empires 3. Now this one, Age of Empires 4, I'm not 100% sure what the time period is. It definitely looks medieval. Some people are saying like it's going to be in between 2 and 3 is what I'm seeing. I'm just excited it's there. And my expectations are so low that I'm just like, man, just give me it, please.
Just give me the game.
Just give me the game. I just want to play it, and y'all can fix it later. All right, so excited about that. Next one is they showed Wasteland 3. Everybody knows about that.
Man, look, they ended with Wasteland 3.
But we knew it was coming to the console.
Yeah, no. We knew it was coming to the console and everything, and there's a new trailer for it.
It's probably coming to Game Pass.
With like
you could probably play it on your toaster. I mean,
they had a cover song of what is it? Land of Confusion. It was either Genesis or Phil Collins.
That's like, before my time.
Well, no, you got to understand. Like every game and movie and TV show out there now, they do covers of songs, but make them in minor keys and real slow, and it's super annoying to me as a musician.
So, okay, give me a quick breakdown on what minor keys are.
Makes it sound sad.
Okay, sad songs.
Sad, mad, angry, negative emotions.
Bad.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, and that makes sense for Wasteland. So, all right. So, I think that's about it. Do you have anything else on XO19?
Yes, I want to talk about.
Oh, snap.
Why Game Pass makes me mad.
Why?
I have it.
Oh.
I have Game Pass.
Okay.
But how Xbox has made me mad. Because when Xbox first came out, I bought a $500 Xbox One.
Sucker. I mean, oh.
A $500 Xbox One.
OG Xbox One?
Yes.
Not the S's or the
No,
X's?
this was an OG one.
Oh, man.
So I got it because everybody kept talking. There were so many rumors about the exclusive games that were coming out. I'd already played so many awesome exclusives on PS4. I was like, man, I got to do it. I got a little extra money. I'm going to do this. Bought it. You know what I played? Sunset Overdrive.
That was a good game.
Killer Instinct.
Good game.
And Rare Replay.
What you whining about, Rowdy?
Because I spent $500 to play 3 games.
Oh, that's why.
So I sold it for $450.
I haven't even spent $500 yet on my Xbox.
So after all this time, after I've spent all this money on my PS4 games, on Switch games, Xbox puts out Game Pass. And I'm like, okay. At first, I was like, this sounds like it could be a good idea. Until I realized it's all old games. Games I've already played. Games that I'm not interested in. And then they started doing the exclusives.
That's what... But here's the thing. I'm, of course, a late adopter. Man, it's great for me. But I could see that, man. If I was involved at all in Xbox, I would be so ticked off. But, I know friends that have been big Xbox people, and they're digging the Game Pass thing because they've kind of strayed away from Nintendo or PlayStation 4, and it's kind of bringing them back into the fold.
Well, now, I've strayed from playing indie games on the Switch because so many of them are coming to Game Pass and Apple Arcade.
Yeah, why would you even buy them on the Switch? And that's really who I think that's hurting the most right now.
Well, and there is a Switch indie game that I really want to play called The Stretchers.
What is
that? Have you seen that? It's
No.
you play as two medic/firefighters and you run around like with your stretcher and you gotta like pick people up and like move them to your ambulance.
Oh, you'd be great at that, Rowdy.
Like,
You've done that for a life.
While
for a
crazy
job.
stuff is happening all around you, and there's like some like evil scientist dude who like is
This
just
sounds
ruining
exactly like your life.
everything. Oh well,
Yeah,
yeah.
the evil scientist and everything.
Till I hurt my back.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when working on the ambulance was crazy, man. Wrestling with people all the time, and
One day we need like Rowdy's craziest paramedic stories. You might get in trouble for that.
no,
though.
man, I can cut out. I don't have to talk about names
Yeah,
or where it
man.
happened.
Yeah, exactly.
I've wrestled people with knives, and
Fireside chat with Rowdy.
I've seen big shiny guns pointed in the wrong direction, and
Yeah.
all kind of stuff like that. I don't miss it.
We'll have to go over that one day. Give our crazy stories on both of our jobs.
All right, so now that I'm mad,
Now that you're mad, stay mad. Use that anger.
use the anger.
Use the anger to channel the show, the lamerness.
Let the hate flow.
Let the hate flow through you.
Stadia.
Oh, God. Oh, I'm mad. I'm mad too now. All right. So Stadia is divisive. I don't like the concept of Stadia.
Let me, I want to point out something in your notes real quick.
Yeah, point them out.
You called this Stadia beta. This isn't a beta.
I know, it's their launch.
I mean, it's like a beta, but
It's like an
actually
alpha,
their
really.
launch.
Yeah. But, you know, and that's the thing that ticks me off about Google and their products. They have this graveyard of products that they quote unquote launched or had launch windows.
GoogleGraveyard.com.
GoogleGraveyard.com. That should be a website. We
It
should get
is.
that. Oh.
Google Graveyard is a website you can go to and see all of the Google products.
Oh my gosh, I'm typing this now. GoogleGraveyard.com. Rowdy's gonna. It says it can't be reached, Rowdy.
Oh, well, just type in Google Graveyard and see what comes up.
All right,
I know there's a website called Google Graveyard.
So I'm not typing this in Google though. I'm gonna type it killedbygoogle.com.
Oh, yeah, that's the website.
Oh man, yeah, I typed that into DuckDuckGo because I wasn't gonna type that into Google. They don't have any. I don't own any more Google products that they can mess with anymore, I guess. Oh man. Yeah, see I had this argument with somebody recently that I am I'm scorned. I'm a Travis scorned by Google because I have had a ridiculous amount of Google products that are just sitting somewhere collecting dust or not probably deteriorating in graveyard. They probably last for at least a millennia.
I have a Nexus tablet that's just sitting there.
I have one of those somewhere too. You know, especially their TV boxes or anything with entertainment that is outside of the Android like direct functions have not aged well. I think Chromecast is about the only thing that's really making it. But how many iterations of Chromecast have we seen? At least like 5.
They're up to Chromecast Ultra now.
Ultra. They should call it Chromecast 64. All right. Let's see if anybody gets that joke. Okay. But anyway, so I went off kind of topic before we actually talked about Stadia, but it is kind of floundering. It's got this launch window. You had to buy... well, let's go ahead and talk about the launch. All the games that are at launch are old games.
You still have to pay for.
And you still had to pay for them. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Destiny 2, Guilt. Well, that's the one that's
That's the one brand new one.
Ooh, Guilt.
Oh, and they have, what is it, the Orcs Must Die 3, but that's only going to be an exclusive for a little while. It's coming to everything else afterwards.
Just Dance, Kine. I don't know what Kine is. Mortal Kombat 11, Red Dead Redemption 2, Samurai Showdown, Thumper, Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Okay, first of all, I don't even know how people are going to play Thumper on Stadia because that is very much you had to be.
It's rhythm based.
It's a rhythm based game. So if you're
and it's
slightly
perfection.
off,
So here's another thing I wanted to point out. Just Dance 2020 works with separated controllers, like for the Switch or controllers that have motion controls in them. Like they're still making them for Wii. Or if you play them on, say, like PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, you could use the integrated camera. And that's how they score these games. Just Dance 2020 on Stadia, I can't believe we're even talking about this.
Yeah,
but
like why?
it doesn't have motion controls in the controller, and there's no camera for it. Therefore, Just Dance 2020, it can't score your game.
Well, first
It's
of all,
just dance videos.
Just Dance 2020's core audience is supposed to be a group of people that should just be able to pick up the thing and just play it.
Yeah.
There are not going to be a lot of people that are technically proficient enough to go through and make sure you have the right Bluetooth stack for your Joy-Cons and you've done X, A, B, and C to get certain things running at the right time. I don't see that. Why did they even bother? So here's the thing. Stadia is a streaming service and it's going directly against xCloud. XO19 just happened and they announced 50 games that I actually showed Rowdy on my phone for free that I can play right now without having to go do any craziness.
Even though I hate this whole streaming thing and it's going to take a lot to get me over, this is annoying. I mean, and I do, even though I talked a bunch of crap on Xbox just now, I really hope xCloud wins.
Well, here's the thing.
Well, okay. Let me rephrase that. I know xCloud's going to win.
Yeah, it's not even close at this point. The xCloud Game Pass 1-2 punch is too strong.
Dude, but let me talk to you about some of these games real quick.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about these games.
So of all these games that are coming to this, 3 of them are Tomb Raider. 2 of those Tomb Raider games are actually the definitive editions. Don't know if that matters or not.
Right.
Destiny 2 is going to be the only one you can play right now with the subscription. Destiny 2 went free to play.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so here's the thing. Like, it's the game selection is not very good for the launch window. They don't give any clue whenever they're going to add more games. You have to buy the games separately.
Well, they were supposed to have Doom Eternal, but that got pushed back.
Yeah. So
then I think Capcom pulled out.
Which I'm not surprised. So this, in the launch, it has limitations too. So not only do we have a weak launch lineup, okay, because whenever you're launching a new product, you generally want to have something that is yours. It gives the people a reason to go to it.
They have guilt.
Whatever.
They have the game guilt.
I feel no guilt. But next thing is there's weird launch limitations. So for you can do $10 a month for Stadia Pro on your PC or Chromebook, but it's not going to run in 4K HDR yet. Okay, then if you want to actually run it in 4K HDR, you have to buy the Founders Edition for about $130. But they're sold out, and you don't know if you're going to get it by launch.
No. Okay, so they're sending them out in the order that people ordered them.
Yeah.
So I watched a video. I want to say it was either Inside Gaming or Jim Sterling. Very opinionated gaming channel.
Not Jim Sterling.
But they pointed out that there was an employee who works for Stadia who ordered the Founders Edition and is not getting it launch day.
And that's the thing. They said they're going to get it by the end of the month.
They work.
Maybe.
They work for Stadia.
So, okay, so that's another problem. Like, most of the people are not going to play this the way they think they are. Then you can only play it right now on the TV with a new Chromecast Ultra that came with the Founders Edition, not the one that you might already own.
Yep.
They're going to update that one later.
And
They don't say when. There's no like window of time when it's going to be updated. Just later.
And that shiny new controller?
Oh yeah, you can only play that wirelessly on one thing.
The Chromecast Ultra that came with it.
Bingo. There is some sort of specific like wireless protocol between the two. It won't connect to your Bluetooth on your laptops. You have to plug it in with a cord.
Even if you have a Google Pixel phone, you still have to plug it in via USB-C.
Oh, and by the way, you can only play it on the Google Pixel phone right now for launch. I can load xCloud on any Android phone right now. So you can do way more. You can play on way more things with xCloud at the moment with a wireless controller, mind you. Now, granted,
any generic controller.
Granted, you can use a generic wireless controller with Stadia on the phones and on the PC. So I can't really say that's a positive.
Even xCloud, you can even use a PS4 controller now.
Oh yeah, they've got a whole bunch of stuff. Now, here's the thing. They're also lacking like a lot of things that people were expecting. They talked about, there's gonna be achievements, there's gonna be settings and customization, there's gonna be partying settings where you can like get a group of people to play with, but the party settings right now are only on PC or TV, and they're not really. We'll see how that goes. There won't be any mobile support for the party settings where you can play with people on the fly yet. Say it's going to come in the future.
Everybody that ordered the Founders Edition also would get a 3-month buddy pass.
Oh, yeah.
Where they could give that to a friend for 3 months. Yeah, those aren't even being sent out right now.
Yeah. I mean, then the big thing that they were talking about was state share, where you can send the state of the game over, or like almost like a freeze frame-ish kind of save to a friend, and they can just start playing off of your save.
Now, look.
Not ready.
I'm not going to lie. That's the one thing about Stadia that I think is kind of cool. Where I could just be like, hey, Travis, check out this part in the game that I just played. Then I could send you that save state.
That would be kind of cool.
That's kind of cool. But out of all of these, out of everything they said that's going to happen, that's the only thing that I find cool.
Yeah, and honestly, your friend probably has to own that game through Google service. So here's the thing that kills me. This service isn't ready. It is nowhere near ready. Google's trying to send you a product that's not even going to be ready whenever they said it was going to be ready in the launch window. You might not even get this at the end of the month. I'm sorry, if I'm a gamer and there is a new system or a new service, I want to do it that day because it's a shared experience, right?
Dude, I take vacation when new systems come out, when games that I really want come out. Like, I take vacation. If I was somebody who was super excited about Stadia, is somebody super excited about Stadia? Is that an oxymoron?
Oh, there are people out there.
Well, look, let's just put it this way. If I was somebody super excited about Stadia and I took vacation and then I didn't get it, I'd be a little upset.
I'd be ticked. And, and I understand, like, I have been, I know I'm scorned, but I've been a big, like, Google product advocate and fanboy for a long time, and that's changed over the last couple of years, because you can only have them do this kind of thing so many times before you're like,
look at that graveyard.
That graveyard is ridiculous, man. There's just been so many things that Google starts up, and they have cool ideas. They really do. And I understand that, like, you got to figure something out along the way. But in a society, in our current...
I hate that phrase.
I know, I hate it too. But in our current way we take in technology nowadays, it's getting really old, really fast whenever people keep releasing these products that are not ready and expecting us to deal with it and pay for it.
Looking at you, 2K.
Bingo, 2K. Looking at anything EA has released in the last 5 years. Ugh. Who else is on this bandwagon? Pokemon's probably going to be on this bandwagon, to be honest.
You shut your mouth.
Bet that's what's going to happen. They're going to fix Pokemon.
You shut your face.
All right. Now that I'm depressed, let's talk about Pokemon.
I love Pokemon.
Rowdy likes Pokemon.
I haven't played the new one yet, though.
Yeah, it's on the way, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on the way. I'm kind of forcing myself to wait just because my back catalog's gotten a little too high. I really need to beat Dragon Quest before I pick up Pokemans. Mm-hmm. I love me some Pokemans. But let's get into my personal pros and cons list.
Ooh.
I'm going to start with the pros. For the pros, it's Pokemon on the Switch. Therefore, a bigger screen than your 3DS, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy, anything like that. Plus, also, you can play it on the big screen now. You can play it on your freaking TV.
Which I like.
I play my Switch most of the time docked. I rarely play undocked mode.
Same here.
So
it's nice, though, whenever you do. Like, whenever you're on a long drive somewhere, or you have, like, an hour to kill somewhere and you have your Switch. It's nice. Yeah. It's a nice feature.
Also, I don't know if there are less or no wild encounters. So kind of like on Let's Go, where you could see the Pokemon and then run up to them, is kind of how it is in this game. So you see a Pokemon that you really want, you could run up to it and then battle it and catch it.
Smack it on the head.
There's no throw mechanics, No stupid throw mechanics,
Thank
like
you.
Travis says.
Oh, I hated the throw mechanics on Go.
And I forgot to put this in here, but there's I think they call it the wild area. I can't 100% remember what it was, but it's a big open area where you can find raid battles to where you and 3 other people that are online can battle one of the Gigantamax Pokemons.
Ooh.
And also in this big wild area, you can, early on in the game, catch high-level Pokemon.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like in Xenoblade where there's big scary monsters where you're not supposed to be?
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Now, let's get to some cons.
Oh.
So I am a dirty Gen 1er, okay?
You
I've
know.
actually coined the phrase today,
Hashtag.
#Pokeboomer.
Yes.
I love the first generation of Pokemon. Absolutely love it. Every time I play a new Pokemon game, I always try to get Squirtle, Charmander, and Bulbasaur.
Because they're the best, man.
They're my 3 favorites.
The best there ever was.
They're the 3 main starters. So,
But Squirtle's the best.
you can't catch them all in this game. So, now there are over 800 some odd Pokemon now.
Wait, in this game? How
In
many
this
are
game.
in this game? There's 800 Pokemon in this game?
No. In this game, there's only like 400 something.
Oh, only 400.
Well,
okay.
yeah. But if you look at Pokemon Sun and Moon, the last ones that came out.
Yeah.
Wait, no. There was Sun Ultra and Moon Ultra. They were like
It sounds like a
sequels.
Capcom game.
There were 700 some odd Pokemon in those.
Mhm.
So how do you go from a 3DS game with 700 some odd Pokemon to a Switch game with 400 some odd Pokemon? Kind of annoying. Now, so not all the Pokemon are in it. So if you liked any of the starters from the old games, like myself, you're out of luck. The only starter from a past generation that you can pick is Charmander. Well, I guess I wouldn't even say pick, that you can catch is Charmander because he's the most popular of them.
Right.
I mean, obviously there's going to be Pikachu. But it's just weird how many of these Pokemon they've cut out. Let's see here. There are some slowdown and anti-aliasing issues.
I've seen some weird like artifacting going on in the game, or like shadows load at weird times as you're walking through. It's not a very optimized game.
Yeah, the animations are kind of weird.
Yeah.
It seems a little rushed.
You know what I think happened?
What's that?
If you look at Pokemon Go, okay, Pokemon Go had really small environments. They're using, I think, the same exact engine.
Wait, Pokemon Go.
I'm sorry, not Pokemon Go. Pokemon.
Talking about Pokemon Let's Go.
Let's Go. Yeah,
Okay.
sorry, it's the same freaking name. They're using the Pokemon Let's Go engine. Okay, I mean that's pretty much what Let's Go was. It was like kind of getting ready for it.
Yeah.
But they're expecting to make a game look like Breath of the Wild with that engine, which was made for a much smaller setting.
Yeah.
And I think it's suffering because it's not really that good of an engine.
So the reason why I think it seems rushed, well, I mean, it seems like it was one of those games that could have benefited from being delayed
Oh gosh.
to work on it some more. But Pokemon is a system seller, and Nintendo really needs to get rid of the Switch lights.
Yeah, what did they just release? The Switch Lite. So
they really needed to put this Pokemon game out. Now, I have seen a lot of good ideas online. Inside Gaming pointed out one of the best ideas I think Nintendo ever could have done. Take half of the Pokedex, put it in one game. The other half of the Pokedex, put it in the other game.
Oh man, that'd be where it's at.
Dude, so if you put all of the new Pokemon from Sword and Shield in both games, but half of the decks in one, half of the decks in the other, I'd buy both.
Yeah. And, I still think at this point, I'm expecting more from Pokemon in the future. Like, I expect an update with new Pokemon that haven't really been talked about. I know there's people digging into the game background, but I just don't think this is where it's going to end. Like, it seems like there's going to be more to this later on.
So I hate to say it, but I have a feeling that there will be DLC.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that.
Pokemon.
I'm fine with that too. Like if that's going to get us to where we have all 800 for those, but I know people are going to get ticked off. It's like, Nintendo's microtransacting the Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's pay to win, pay to collect them all.
We'll charge $1 per Pokemon, make $800 off of a person.
Oh, man. I mean, if you look at the way they just released that Mario Kart game on the phones.
Oh, God, don't remind me.
Yeah. All right, so I think we're definitely going to be talking about Pokemon after the break here in just a minute, because it's been getting some bad reviews, man. So
stupid.
So, all right, guys. So we're about to take a break real quick. After the break, we're going to talk about a rumor that's been flying around, and we're going to talk about review bombs.
Before we start diving into the fake news of the week, don't forget that you can tell your friends to check us out on Spotify, iTunes, lamergamers.transistor.fm, or wherever you cast your pod.
Yeah.
So, now, into the fake news. It's a super short one, but we haven't really talked much about Sony and PlayStation this time around.
Yeah, I mean, everything's been geared to everyone else.
They've been really quiet, and I think they're going to wait till PSX. I think it's what it's called. I think it's
PSX?
PlayStation Expo. I think it's what it's called. They'll probably wait till PSX before they start unloading all of their stuff. But
what's the rumor, Rowdy?
There's a rumor that Sony might be entering the portable gaming world again.
Dun, dun, dun.
So the PSP, I don't know how many of you ever played the PSP. It was an amazing system.
Was the PSP after or before Vita?
Before.
Okay.
So Vita was the new one. And I personally love the Vita. The first released one had an OLED screen in it, and it looked phenomenal. It had a touch screen on the front and on the back of the console.
Ooh.
You could use it to stream from your PS4, or actually PS3 at first, to the PS Vita. It was really awesome, man. It's just nobody really supported it. The 3DS was dominating at the time.
I mean, it's pretty much where you went for, like, anime things.
You really could play just a ton of JRPGs on it.
Yeah, that's what I remember, because I remember dating some girl that was all into the Japanese anime stuff.
Well, there was
they were all about the Vitas and the PSPs and what's nots.
The PSPs.
The PSPs.
It's in Italy. It's in Italy. It's near the Leaning
man.
Tower of Pisa.
Yeah.
But apparently there is. Let me find this here. There was a patent leak for what seems like the PSP 5G companion console.
What is that?
I mean, people really can't find anything about what it is. The only thing that they really have found is the specs for what looks like a cartridge.
Ooh.
Like a Game Boy style cartridge. It's got a little indention on it that looks like maybe where the label would go.
And they're not thinking this is for the PS5, are they? Because, I mean, I could see some benefit to going back to cartridges as far as you don't have to spin discs and things like that.
Well, that is true, but it's already been released, the kind of optic drive that
PS5
has in it.
Gotcha.
So that's why they're thinking this is
That's
probably
right. They're
a
using,
successor to the PS Vita.
They're still using the HD Blu-ray stuff, huh?
Oh yeah.
Or whatever it's called nowadays.
But the thing that sticks out the most about this is that the designer is listed as, and I'm sorry if I say this wrong, Yujin Morisawa. He is the senior art director for Sony Interactive Entertainment and the man personally responsible for all PlayStation products.
Oh, man. He's the bigwig.
So he signed off on this.
Oh, snap.
The patent, let's see. This article states that the patent was filed in Brazil, which they always file in weird countries to begin with, so they don't get ripped off.
Right.
I can't find exactly where it is that they said that. Okay, reported by Dutch news outlet Let's Go Digital, the leak shows the document filed with Brazilian Patent Office, INPI. The document shows a thick Game Boy style cartridge with an indented space on the face of the casing, presumably for the label. So,
Sounds like an Atari cartridge.
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean,
they're bringing back Atari. Atari VCS is the new PlayStation portable.
I will slap you.
That's a lie.
Slap you.
That is a lie.
So I didn't really think that this had many legs to stand on until I saw that the art director signed off on it. So we may get like a companion console. I mean, what if this is like a kind of a let's see, like you play PlayStation 5 and then you could use this to stream your PS5 elsewhere, almost like it's a big in-home console with a portable counterpart for it.
Yeah.
Almost like how the Switch has a dock and it's on the go. Granted, this would be way more expensive.
So I guess that's something I could see coming in the next generation too. The next gen is going to be weird.
Yeah.
Like we're going to have to talk about that in the future. Like the next gen is kind of scary what they're thinking is going to happen, but there's going to be this sort of portable player ideal either on your phones or your tablets, which you probably already own, to PCs, but also are we going to start seeing companion consoles similar to what the Switch is doing? Because I mean, honestly, for what Xbox, Google, and PlayStation are trying to do with streaming, you could easily do that on the Switch, like on the same hardware. That would be similar. So it would only make sense that if that's a central part of your plan, is to have a console that can A, do the streaming that you want to do, but B, I mean, why not have some physical games that are, lesser versions of the consoles? Because right now, graphical parity is very similar from the Switch to even what's coming on to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Yeah, and so Sony's been really quiet about the streaming. They actually haven't had a lot of luck with streaming because, like I said, PS Now has been around for 5 years.
Yeah,
and it took them forever to get that off the ground because people didn't want to stream games. And that's originally what this was a streaming service.
Right.
Not until recently did they make it able where you could download the games to play them. So, I mean, Sony may be going a different direction than Microsoft.
Yeah, I'm still kind of in the mindset of people at Sony are freaking out because everything's going crazy. I think there's still a bit of a bone rattling going on from what they're seeing from other companies and the Game Pass craziness.
Look, I'm not even going to talk about it in depth on here, but
Yeah,
there's been a huge shakeup in Sony. Like
we did that last episode.
Well, there's been even more that happened since then.
Oh, snap. Yeah, we're definitely going to have a side quest in the future about everything that's going crazy in this upcoming gen.
The head of Guerrilla Games, who made Horizon Zero Dawn, one of the best PlayStation 4 games.
I want to play that so bad, and I don't have anything to play it on.
He got bumped up to like senior, I don't know, a really high position.
Yeah.
Basically, he's like right under Jim Ryan, who is the head honcho of PlayStation right now. So that's an awesome deal for Guerrilla Games, which they're talking about making Horizon Zero Dawn 2. Oh, it's gonna be so good.
Horizon 10 Dawn?
I don't know. Maybe they just call it Horizon something else. Because this one was called Horizon Zero Dawn. Dude, the story in Horizon Zero Dawn, it's so good, dude. Oh my god, but I would spend hours explaining it to you.
Yeah, I need to play it.
It's not Kojima weird.
All right, well,
that's really all we have for rumors this week.
There's some rumors going around, but let's go ahead and go to the closer topic. Hey, Rowdy.
Oh, God.
Do you ever go on to the Reddits or the Metacritics?
Always.
Well, it seems like the latest frenzy they whipped themselves into involves two series dear to our hearts. Death Stranding and Pokemon. Currently, both of these games are getting review bombed in the user review sections for a few reasons. So, before we talk about, I'm using that term review bomb. What is a review bomb? Basically, it's when the internet gets angry, which they do about every 3 hours.
Yeah.
If you look at Twitter, the hashtags, they change about every 3 hours, I think.
I want to say, like, Suicide Squad got review bombed and Captain Marvel got review bombed because there was a female protagonist.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always some dumb reason.
There's always something.
Suicide Squad, I think, got review bombed because they didn't like the way the Joker looked.
Yeah.
All kind of weird. It's always something stupid.
So basically, internet get angry, and then it mindlessly attacks a product, show, or service because of a perceived slight upon the consumer or a group of people or whatever. So we got two games that have been horrendously review bombed. Death Stranding and Pokemon Sword and Shield. Rowdy is definitely more of the purveyor of Death Stranding, so I'm going to kind of let you talk about, why are they targeting UPS Simulator?
Okay.
Death Stranding.
So So Death Stranding, people came into this thinking that since it's a Kojima game, this was going to be his next Metal Gear Solid. And I knew that wasn't going to happen. He's left Konami, he's left Metal Gear Solid behind. Technically, Metal Gear wasn't even his game to begin with.
Right.
He just got it off of the ground in the 80s. But then
Oh, that's right. There was a 2D version first, wasn't there?
It was originally on the MSX computer system.
Yeah, he wasn't involved in it. Was he involved in
yes,
it at all?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know.
So he was the one. The MSX, it couldn't put all the sprites on the screen that they wanted. So he came up with the ideas instead of saying, hey, instead of making this action shooter, let's make it stealth-based, where you have very little weaponry, and you have to kind of sneak around people and not get noticed.
Yeah.
And that's how it started. So then, like...
and it ended with a bridge baby in Wales.
Well, okay, so there was a whole bunch of stuff that happened between Konami and Kojima, and neither will talk about it, but we were supposed to get that Silent Hill, and then it didn't happen. Norman Reedus was supposed to be in that.
That Silent Hill game, though, by the way, have you... there's a Girlfriend Reviews that they play that.
They did the PT
Silent
demo.
Hills. That's a freaky looking game, man.
Because they got released. There's a demo for it that got released called PT.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And you can't download PT anymore.
Yeah, they had to get a console that was like $500 or $600 because it still was on the console.
They had to borrow the dude from the Completionists.
Yeah,
PS4, I think. I had it on my PS4, but I deleted it, and then they said, oh, well, now, all of a sudden, if you don't have PT on your console, you can't download it now, so I don't have it.
Lame. All right, anyway.
So people were just coming into this not 100% knowing what was going on. I mean, you had 3 years to find out what this game is about.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, I mean, really, did they really tell us what this game was about until recently?
I mean, they didn't give away story aspects of it, but you knew you were going to be delivering stuff, and there was a weird baby, and there was these weird monsters you couldn't see. Yeah,
I knew it was going to be weird, but I didn't really think you were going to be shuffling packages on your back trying to make sure you don't tip over. That is the one aspect. Like, that was kind of surprised. That seems underwhelming, But
well, so with these review bombs, I couldn't find any that were too ridiculous, but it's always the same stuff over and over again. Like, here is a user. This is from Metacritic. This is a user who gave it a 0. The worst game I've ever played. Monotonous and repetitive gameplay with an empty and bare world. I would not recommend it to any player. In all caps, worst game of the generation.
There's no way. I've played some terrible games.
Let's see. Here's another 0. This game is too bad. You just walk and deliver. The scenery only has rock and bush.
It only has rock and bush.
Okay, no, I'm reading exactly what it says on here, okay?
That's amazing. I love that review, actually.
Is that what they call revolutionary games? What a rubbish.
A rubbish.
Here is another one. Muy abrido, he perdido, 30H, esperando que pase algo más que ser repetidor de DHL.
So you're basically being DHL delivery, just repeating it over and over. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was great.
Very curled game, broken physics, player hard to control. Riding with the bike is too bad. Kojima, the story is interesting, plus the gameplays is too bad.
So this is really how you get to the developers to make sure they know what to do is 1, do it in all caps. 2, make sure that you use no punctuation whatsoever. And 3, be as incoherent and childish as possible. Because they'll totally listen. And give it a 0. Just give it a good 0. And that's how you really get to these game developers, man.
But I also would like to point out, let me get back to the regular scores for Metacritic here. Metacritic gave Death Stranding a Metascore of 83.
And that's for the user, or is that for the...
That's Metacritic. Okay. That's the.
But Metacritic breaks it down into 2 different things, like user.
Well, because there's Metacritic and then there's the user score. The user score is 6.2 for Death Stranding, whereas the Metascore is 83. So the Metascore is basically all of the reputable gaming websites
right.
that have reviewed it, and then your user score, obviously,
The
users
lowly
that come
users.
in. So you've seen a lot of websites like Rotten Tomatoes and stuff like that kind of separate user scores from professional scores just because it's so easy to review bomb something.
Right, and if you think about it though, they're actually pretty similar, right?
They're not far apart.
They're really
So
not
if
that
you-
far apart. So even with the bombs in there, unless they've taken the bombs out, which is a possibility.
Yeah, because I couldn't really find any that were just absolutely ridiculously incoherent for Death Stranding.
So,
but if you think about it, so the Metacritic score is an 83, which would be an 8.3 on the 1 to 10 scale, and the user score is 6.2. So it's not that far off.
no, that's completely different than our next one.
Yes.
You ready for the next one?
Oh, I cannot wait.
Pokemon Sword and Shield. Well, their Metascore right now is an 81, which is respectful, about what I'd expect for this game. Their user score, it's gone up. It's 3.9.
Oh, it was 3.2 earlier.
Yeah, man. So why are people so ticked off about this game? Well, the reason why they're targeted is it comes from a... I can't believe this.
This is so stupid.
It comes from them. Basically, it was a bad translation. I'm going to pull it up real quick. So, according to a translation of an interview with Game Freak's Junichi Masuda and Shigeru Amori, said that it was difficult enough bringing in a full Pokedex. Because everybody's ticked off that there's not a 809 Pokemans. Okay. The Switch's improved graphics and visual fidelity has since lengthened the development time necessary to render Pokemon, they explained. So, the decision to limit a game's Pokedex would have been made sooner or later. It was made with Sword and Shield, so everybody's getting this out of their system now. Man, this is just lower your expectation, children, is what they told us. They're not even treating us like adults. It's like, you little children, we got to do this for you. This will make it better
for your own sake.
in the end, for your own sake. So basically, they came out and said that they are redoing the models, okay, to make them look better over time. Well, people broke into it. They data mined, which is whenever you kind of hack into the game and you don't necessarily can't like play around with the main code and change up a lot of stuff in the game, but you can look at all of the polygonal graphics setups, the character renders and stuff like that. Well, it's the same polygons from the characters from some of the 3DS games as in this game.
They carried over from Sun and Moon to this one.
So
now, I will say that I have seen some of the data mine stuff.
Yeah.
Looking at some of the polygon models.
Mm-hmm.
So what I was looking for, or the one I was looking at, I forget which ones were which, but one of the models was all black lines. Mm-hmm. And the other one was all white lines. So they overlaid them to show you how similar they were. And so some of the Pokemon, when they overlaid them, I mean, it was exactly the same.
Yeah.
But there were a bunch that were a little different.
And, honestly, so they did lie. Like, they said they were going to redo the models, essentially. And that's a lie. But in the grand scheme of things, it's a pretty minor thing. And then this has also come from translation. I don't think it was translated so poorly that they were telling the truth. But if you're going to review bomb something, it probably needs to be over a much bigger concern. And then you also got to look into the models themselves. The way, if you're coming in as an artist, whenever you design a model for a video game, you usually design like a higher end model than the game is going to see the vast majority of the times. Mm-hmm. Then the game's system or the engine will generally lower the polygon count based on how far away it is or how much is on the screen. So it's constantly changing. There's different graphical effects that also go over this polygon models. So they probably, I'm assuming we're saying that the models might have been changed minorly, but they probably did a lot more with the kind of rendering that happened, the light that's applied to them, the anti-aliasing or aliasing, whatever it is, that's going on. So, I didn't expect it, so maybe I'm just not as concerned. And the models don't look bad, really.
They really don't.
For what you want at Pokemon, they look clean, and there's so much that's going on beyond the model. Because really, polygon models are not as important as they used to be.
Yeah.
There's so much you can fake with bump maps and all these different rendering effects with lighting effects. It's just not a big deal. So people are freaking out about this. There's even, oh my gosh, there is a White House petition about this game because people are so mad about this. That is like the ultimate review bomb.
I think they got worse things to worry about.
Yeah, a change.org. There's already 9,100 signatures. All right, so let's go ahead and get to some of the bombs because I pulled up some of my favorite reviews on this game. All of these are 0 reviews, by the way. There's a 0 for the score. None of these have a point value. So I'm going to read the first. I'm not going to read this whole one. This is a long one. First, I didn't buy or even play the game. Why are you telling us this then? Okay, sorry. At this point, you're already walking away. I want to. All right. Rating a game anything as a consumer is pointless, even if I do in fact played it. That sentence didn't even make sense.
Nope.
The only score Nintendo will pay attention to are sales figures, and to some extent, critics' reviews because they are ads for other games. Well, yeah, I mean, that's a good point.
This sounds like a 14-year-old who just took his first economics class or like just found out what capitalism is.
Yeah. So we established ratings are pointless then. Honestly, it sounds like a Reddit post to me. Well, not really. A 0 score plus voting with my wallet is more effective getting the message across than telling other people what should be enjoying by blindly giving it a 10. All right, let's get on with reviewing the actual game based on what I saw and heard. If it's a review, you didn't play it. It's not a review, it's impressions. Okay. Sorry, got that on my system.
I hate this guy.
I'm yelling rowdy. Okay. All right. I'm just I can't read the rest of that without getting angry. All right. This next review contains spoilers. It doesn't really. They just marked it spoilers. Game Freak lied. The game is a mess. Models, graphics, barely any story. Wait, models and graphics? What are you saying about models and graphics? Just models, graphics. Save your money. That's a wonderful, that's a great 0 review right there.
Okay.
All right. Next one. I'd like to ask seriously if this game is made on a Switch. How can you make it so insincere? That's a whole review.
I don't understand.
I don't either. All right.
You can't spell insincerity without Switch.
All right. Really rowdy. If a Pokemon game have not all Pokemon, why it called Pokemon?
Bunga bunga. Me like fire.
Hashtag thank you, Game Freak. Hashtag. I don't even understand. I'm so confused.
Okay.
This next one, though, by Indie Goon, is very simple, though.
Oh, no.
No, 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 no.
Yes.
No. Just no. That's all
No.
they have. All right.
My bad.
Next one. Jiren Labo MX. Not all Pokemon are in the game. PS2 graphics. PS1 animation. Hand holding for the entire game. The game feels rushed for be available before Christmas. Okay, so there are some okay.
The first thing that turns me off about this person is that they have Labo in their name.
Yeah, that is true. Because that's kind of dropping off. All right, so first of all, I don't know if they remember the PlayStation 2. This does not have PlayStation 2 graphics. I've seen those things. Now, the PlayStation 1 animation I might agree with, because I've seen some gameplay already, and literally there is... I saw like a double kick from the rabbit Pokemon that's on there, Fire Rabbit Monster.
Score Bunny.
And it's literally like he just hops up and down.
Well, no, that's a lot of them, though.
I know, I got that.
Like, they'll be like, oh, so-and-so use tackle, and then they move forward like 2 inches and then right back.
The animations drive me crazy because they're overly simplified. I would at least like to see the characters somewhat rigged up.
Do you know how many moves are in Pokemon?
I know, Rowdy, and that's the problem. It doesn't make sense. They all have different skeletal structures, and it would be a nightmare, which is why I'm not overly concerned that they're reusing character models. Okay, next. Aaron Black.
Aaron Black was the name of a character in Mortal Kombat.
Ah.
Like an awful character in Mortal Kombat. Like an afterthought character.
66% of Pokemon gone. And for what? A rushed, completely unfinished, casualified Pokemon game?
I thought that said calcified.
I couldn't understand it at first either. You're literally the best-selling franchise of all time. A multi-billion-dollar franchise.
The Grand Theft Auto series is the most selling.
Shut up, Rowdy!
One.
Stop speaking truths! Everyone should expect much higher quality than this, and all the backlash was to be expected. At least the guys behind the Sonic movie had the decency to fix the product. And worst of all, they cut Baidu.
Shut your face. Look, I didn't see this one beforehand. Bidoof is just a throwaway Pokemon. Bidoof is just this cute little like chipmunk looking thing.
Oh my
goodness. And there are people, like anytime somebody rags on Pokemon, they use Bidoof.
Oh man.
It's actually funny that they cut Bidoof. Like I figured they would keep Bidoof in there.
Bidoof is the worst. Oh, these are the best. All right, from Unbelievable. Game Freak does not deserve a fair and honest review from me. If they're gonna lie about quality assurance and be dishonest, why should I be honest? It's only fitting.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
That's dumb. It's like 3-year-old logic. All right, Marco Critics. Those are not Pokemon, those are some weird monsters. The design is terrible if compared to the previous games. Previous. The story is lazy, the enemies are too easy. Just a bad game and lazy studio.
Well, all the enemies are easy at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, of course they're weird monsters. They're pocket monsters. All right.
I hate them.
I love this one.
Oh, God.
Round one. Kanto!
That's somebody who's a dirty Gen 1er like myself.
It's a Pokeboomer right there.
It's a Pokeboomer.
That's a Pokeboomer. The next one. John 5000. The legendaries are freaking dogs. What happened to mythical beasts like Lugia, Groudon, Kigore, Rayquaza, Ho-Oh? That's the name of a Pokemon. Ho-Oh. We got dogs as legendaries.
It's actually Kyogre. They spelled that wrong.
I don't know. All right. That was fun. Let's just go ahead and go with the ending one, because this seems like a good one to end on. From Pokesheet S33T.
Oh, my God.
Just stop with Pokemon. Burn all of them. Stop that, Bren, please. All has an end. It's time for Pokemon to end.
Man. Whatever. Get out of here. I almost cursed a bunch just now.
With that being said, I think that's the end of our podcast. We need to burn this one to the ground.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank y'all for checking us out. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at LamerGamersCast. Let everybody know how you like the show. Respond to us. And make sure you check back here before Black Friday for the lamest, gamest holiday guide. It's going to be fun.
I like that.
All right, you got any more Pokemon you want to throw out today?
No, man. I'm upset they cut Bidoof.
Man. All right, guys. That's it for me. I'm out.
All right, you guys have a good one.
Oh man, I can't believe they cut Bidoof. The worst.